fuck, I'm never gonna do that again. I'll never. You're so stupid. Why the hell? Why in the fuck did you do that again? How many of you guys have said that kind of shit to yourself before for fucking up and not following through on something you said you weren't gonna do? Drinking, eating shit food, cheating, you name it. How many of you guys have told yourself you were not gonna make that mistake that you made in the past, and then you made it again anyway, and the next thing afterwards you told yourself you were the biggest piece of shit, and you were so angry and so pissed off at yourself, you swore you would never do it again, but then you did. We've all been there. I've been there. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about in today's video. Changing your behavior. Creating change for good. Changing your habits. Changing the way that you make decisions. Changing the amount, cutting away the alcohol, cutting away the overeating, the fast food. Changing your behavior is one of the hardest things that a human being does and can do. You have to change you. You've been hardwired and been rehearsing this behavior over and over and over again, and now you want to break that chain of habit? Talk about a battle. Talk about a challenge. Right now, think about, you guys do me a solid and be honest with yourself. What is a habit that you have that you want to break? Is it overeating? Is it drinking alcohol? Is it lying, cheating? What is it? Drugs? Steroids? Enough. What is it? Because for me, one of the many vices that I've had over the years was alcohol. Alcohol was one of the toughest things that I had to break from my life. And I just got off a coaching call with one of my clients who's taken himself, his goals are to make more money and get in incredible shape. He needs to get shredded. He's chunky right now, all right? He knows it. Just it is what it is, but he's gonna lose fat and he wants to make more money. Those are good fucking goals. And he's trying to break the bad habits that he has of being himself, the overeating, the cutting corners, the lying to himself, opting out of workouts he knows he needs to do, opting out of healthy meals that he knows he needs to eat. And it's difficult. It's difficult for all of us. So how do you change your fucking behavior when you really, truly want to change it? Well, I want to share some things with you guys, man. Malcolm X says, that which you do not hate, you will begin to tolerate. So first thing, if you want to change your behavior, like I was drinking, there was a time in my life where, okay, so I'll just be transparent with you guys. I was drinking, I had my first drink at like 14 or 15 years old. And when I was brought up, I thought that men drank alcohol. That was a symbol of being a man, right? And as I got into the military, alcohol was glamorized. It was very normal to celebrate everything with drinking. I was taught over the years that alcohol meant fun and that it meant happiness. So I would turn to alcohol to find happiness. But little did I know that every time I turned to alcohol to find happiness, it was destroying my happiness. It made me feel like shit about me. I either made a stupid decision, I got in trouble with my girl, with the law, with the bars, and the next day I woke up and I would feel like absolute shit. Okay, I can't even tell you guys how many bars I got kicked out of. I used to start my Friday, Saturday night by drinking half a fifth of hard liquor, like vodka or Jack Daniels or something like that. Start my night with a half a fifth. And that shit, I was one of those guys that I would tell you I didn't even have a problem. but I couldn't let go of it. I couldn't stop doing it. Because I wasn't drinking at work, I thought I wasn't an alcoholic. But every night, I would have a couple beers, if not a lot, many beers. I couldn't figure out why I had imposter syndrome. I couldn't figure out why I had self-doubt, why I had self-worth issues. Well, it was because I kept telling myself I wasn't going to drink, and then I would end up drinking and overdo it. I wasn't listening to myself. I was destroying the trust that I had with myself. I could have been 10 times the leader that I was, 100 times the leader that I was, had I removed that vice from my life. I just didn't know how. And fortunately, over time, I figured it out, after one night where I almost ended my life. Been transparent about that with you guys. And I realized enough was enough. I started to hate alcohol, like Malcolm X said. That which you do not hate, you begin to tolerate. I started to hate alcohol. I realized that nothing good in my life ever came from it. Just like overeating, just like drugs, all that shit, nothing good has ever came in your life by overindulgence, by being gluttonous. You always feel like shit afterwards. You either feel guilty because you broke a promise that you were keeping to yourself, or you literally physically feel like shit. So I was talking to my client today about how do we break this pattern of being ourselves? How do we change our human behavior? Well, in those moments of decision, when you're at a crossroads, whether you should say, fuck it, I'm not going to follow the diet, or fuck it, I'm not going to stay sober tonight, I'm going to drink. In those moments, there has to be a decision that prevents you from becoming what you hate. You have to remind yourself in those moments what you don't want to be. And it has to hurt so fucking bad you don't want to walk that path. So for myself, kicking your vices was a one day at a time mentality. In order to kick my drinking, what I ended up having to do, I had to take it one day. I didn't know if I could make it 2 days. I didn't know if I could make it 3 days. All I knew is all I wondered was, could I do it today? Could I say no, even if it was just recreational social drinking? Could I say no today? And I made it a challenge. And so one of the other things that I did is I tested myself in the day that I was in. And then the second thing that I did is I wrote a little note card, 3x5 card. I put it in my wallet. And I wrote down all the beliefs that I had about removing alcohol from my life that would keep me on track. I wrote down like, intelligent people make intelligent decisions. So if I, basically, in other words, if I thought and wanted to be intelligent, intelligent people would make an intelligent decision not to drink. So if I drank, that means I'm not intelligent. Small little thing that helped me along the way. I also told myself, if you master not drinking, you master life. I created affirmations, I created a new belief system around alcohol that empowered me to stay on track and stay on a path of sobriety. And I challenged myself. But also, I built up alcohol as an enemy inside of my mind. I told myself and reminded myself that alcohol had destroyed my family. I've seen people cheat on each other because of alcohol. I saw people disown each other because of alcohol, fight because of alcohol, get in accidents because of alcohol. I watched people almost kill themselves because of alcohol. And I came to realize that alcohol was an enemy in my motherfucking life that I didn't want any part of. And so I went to war with it. You guys, whatever the vice is in your life, in order for you to kick that habit, you have to go to war with it. You have to hate the habit so much. And one of the greatest ways that you guys can develop hatred for your bad habits is to think about who in your life gave them to you. We all have parents and relatives that pass down bad habits to us, that they learn from people beyond them. And I'm not saying to blame anyone. Don't ever blame your parents. But if they had a habit that you hated, hate that fucking habit. People in my family that drank a lot, I didn't hate them for drinking. I hated the habit that they adopted for drinking. Because that told me that it was okay. Fuck that habit. I will never, ever drink again. I stopped drinking February 15, 2018. after battling it off and on for years. And I realized that along the way, when I finally broke the habit of drinking, which applies to any area of your life, cheating, drugs, overeating, all of those things are addictions. Okay? I realized this. Addicts are liars. Addicts are liars. They will tell themselves whatever the fuck they have to get what they want. I told myself a lie about alcohol for a long time. It's not an issue. It's not a problem. You're not an alcoholic. It's not that big of a deal. It's not holding you back at work. I lied through my damn teeth to myself. You might be doing it. Maybe it's weight for you. Maybe you're lying to yourself about your workouts and your nutrition. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. I don't need to measure. I don't need to do my macros. I eat pretty healthy. Fucking lying. Your results speak for themselves. My bank account was the lowest it ever was when I drank. Results speak for themselves. I was broke because I was drinking. I was unhealthy. I had kidney issues. I used to have this ache in my back, either around my liver and my kidney, somewhere back in there. And I would be like, I don't know what's going on. It always spiked up right after a night of drinking, but I always said it wasn't the alcohol. Lie to my fucking self, man. Addicts are liars. Alcoholics are liars. Fat people are liars. Because we lie to ourselves. I don't want you guys to lie to you. Fucking hate your bad habits. Go to war with them. Remember that if you do not destroy that bad habit, you will pass it down to your kids under you. People are worried about generational wealth, but what we should be worried about is generational health, generational habits. What generational habits are you passing down to those that you love? That's the message for you guys. I love you so much. Break those bad habits. Break the habit of being yourself. Become the best version of you, because it feels so fucking good when you get rid of those things that are controlling you. You break free and you no longer need the vices to feel the way that you were seeking. It feels so fucking good to be in absolute control, and that's what I want for you guys. I love you all. Conquer all.